I have once again gotten really bored after my life has gone to shit after failing one more test at this university I go to. Therefore, I have decided to start another YouTube series. This time, I will be playing Spore, a game released in 2007, which was really good. As a result of being a good game which was made by a company bought out by EA, they have, of course, essentially done nothing with the IP since I think 2015. No, possibly even 2012. This is completely unrelated to anything in this video, I just wanted to say that. I'm kinda mad. Anyways, I have decided to do a Spore challenge run, this time where I create one of the most useless creatures to ever exist, where I will be giving the creature no eyes, and also no legs. The reason for doing this is because my life is so bad, I want other things to suffer, not just me. So join me as we start a new planet on this game. Now, when you start a new planet on the game, the developers so graciously give you a preset to the planet's name, which you can choose to accept or change. The developers of this game did not intend for the people who played it to be complete fucking idiots, and for them to be extremely immature. Seaman. Unfortunately, it is me playing this game, and I am both of those things. We crash land into the planet of Seaman, and after gaining movement of our little cell creature, we are forced to play the game normally. That is until we discover that we can create a mating call using our vocalized mouthpiece, which most likely would not have evolved until quite possibly nearly 500 million years from this current point. So yes, absolutely lovely. We then decide to give our new iteration of our cell creature no eyes whatsoever, and to replicate having absolutely zero legs, we give it no flagellum, which means it won't be very fast, because in my eyes, the flagellum is the leg of the sea. I also decide to give it 2 mouths, which actually equates to 4 because everything has to be symmetrical in this game, and shove a giant breaky stick thing creature, Mabobba, on the front of it. I have no strategic reason for doing this, I just thought it'd be a bit funny. I then, of course, as is usual for me, spend far too much time thinking about what to name this creature before settling on something really stupid. And in this case, it was the name 2006 Honda Civic. With the complete lack of any flagellum on our creature, we cannot move very effectively. The most we can do is just kind of skirt ourselves from left to right. I have no idea if this actually makes our creature move faster, but it feels like it does. Beyond that, we just slowly glide towards whatever we decide to go towards. The effect of this is that if anything moves, we pretty much cannot get towards it as it will always outspeed us. So we are forced to eat nothing but scraps we find on the floor. You may think that I should just become a herbivore because at least in that situation, we can eat all of the plants, and the plants cannot move. And that is an amazing idea in theory, but in practicality, you have to also move to find the plants to begin with, and there's no guarantee you'll even find a plant to, well, begin with. As a result, I am forced to just be some flagellumless freak and just try my best to attack anything that comes anywhere within my general radius. I decide to try and skewer them with my giant beak sword thing, that is to say, my spike. Or I can try and nibble on them with my giant mandibles if they come any closer towards me. The biggest issue I tend to run into is the giants that keep trying to eat me. They suck dick and I don't like them. As you have just seen, I put a spike on the side of my creature. Now, you may be thinking that this is an offensive move, but actually I was thinking a little bit ahead in a way, kind of. I don't know, it was a good idea to me and it worked kind of, not really. Essentially, the plan here was by having giant large fuck off spikes, I could use it to trap the food that floats past me and then slowly angle it to fall into one of my many mouths. This did not work in any way, shape or form. It just kind of moved it close and kept it in place so that I could turn and then eat it, which I guess is also the same effect. But yeah, we continue playing the game, and we continue to not add any speed boosting items. So no cilia, no jet boosters, nothing. We're just a little cell in a little giant world. I'm in it. I am in it. What is going on?
That's so large.
After being forcefully absorbed by the giant gelatinous mass that exists within this tide pool, I do my best to continue trying to complete the cell stage. I evolve to give myself yet another set of spikes on the opposite side of the being I've created. However, I'd like to admit to you all that I have no idea what function these even serve. I genuinely just put them on there because I thought it looked cool. And I would like for you all to go into the comments and say that you think it looks cool as well, because this type of gratification is the only thing that keeps me sane nowadays. I also ended up putting a giant spike inside of the creature's mouth. How this creature is supposed to be able to bloody eat now out of that mouth is beyond me, but you know what, he's having a lovely time. But yes, as you can see, we just continue playing the game as best as we can, we give him poison, and we just end up getting eaten a bunch, because I can't see, or move. In the next part of this Spore extravaganza, I sit my fat ass down to record this voiceover, and immediately get the biggest nosebleed I've ever had in my entire life. The amount and quantity of blood that has exited my fucking nose, genuinely I imagine to be unmeasurable. This occurred, I shit you not, after I got home from a 1.5 hour walk in the blistering hot sun. So I can only imagine that this is a rare form of heat stroke that has decided to affect me and cause me to nearly pass out through blood loss. Oh, and also our cell gained sentience and decided to escape from this fucking mortal coil of the water deep depths that we call home. We decide to ditch saline for sand and enter the fucking beach world of the quadrupeded mammals. I would like each and every person here who witnessed that to ignore the fact that I had the biggest voice break you've ever heard in your life and just carry on. After breaching the surface tension of the water, I begin to start breathing air into my lungs and moving onto dry land. Upon having O2 enter these fucking respiratory system, I recognize that I have one of two choices. I can either become friends or I can become foes with everybody. Seeing as I can't fucking see and the entire world is in grayscale and I have no legs so I can't escape somebody if something goes wrong, I decide I should probably try and make friends with people, otherwise I'd probably get my shit pushed right in. Thus begins my 1,000-year reign of friendship and love. I meet the Hive Hats, and we're gang as fuck, we become friends, and then I reach the Beans. And then we also become gang as fuck, and we're like friends now, and we're like lovely, and we love each other, and it's great. Oh, I also gain a fucking brain, that was pretty cool, and it grows a little bit, so I can gain another member to my pack, which I probably will have to utilize if I want to have any fucking hope of surviving this creature stage, as I can't see. Moving on from that, after I become friends with people, I start scouring the floor, like fully just putting my fucking face to the floor and sniffing for bones to get any new fucking parts to my body. Sorry, let me say that again in a more apt, scientific way, so that I can have new parts to modify my 2005 Honda Civic. However, when I move a little bit too far inland and find a new base full of lovely creatures, I realise that they're not very lovely and it was a bad mistake to come here, as they start to fucking hunt me down for miles and chase me back to my home base. The bastards. These absolutely magnificent creatures of God's creation end up killing me, causing me to have to start again from the beginning of my base, and also making me realise that I definitely have to change my 2005 Honda Civic to be able to handle, you know, these little creatures trying to kill me. Currently my creature is a slug, but with a good idea, I'm certain I can turn this slug into a... I can't think of any good alliteration, the only word that's coming to mind is slut, so fuck it, we're turning a slug into a slut. We'll find a slutty little idea and we'll turn him into that. After not playing the game for about 5 days, I load up the map and my Spore creature decides to immediately have a giant fit. My beautiful sea creature, who has just made his way onto land, started convulsing on the floor for a lot longer than I think would be healthy for a creature of any size or origin. What is it doing? Yeah, I feel questioned as well, mate. This leaves me with little faith left in my creature, so I decide to make him new. I decide to start all over again and decide to make a new creature. Considering I don't have any eyes and I don't have any legs, I decide that the best option would probably be to make my creature have biblically accurate features, In my mind, I had the image of that, like, angel. I'll put an image up right now, actually. There's no point in me trying to explain it, because I tried to explain it to the stream chat, and they just got really bloody confused. But with the very limited options I had available to me at that current moment in time, I tried to recreate this. See, the image I had in my mind was of the angel throne, but I didn't actually recreate that looking at what I made. I actually ended up making a completely different creature that... It actually looks kind of cute. I like... Oh, never mind, I can't see anyone. Right, let's make friends. I kind of like this little fish creature. Oh, I can't jump. Look at the way we move. Oh my gosh. It's sickening. I love it. I want to become friends with the Fergals. I had no idea was also very similar to another angel. So, task failed successfully? Oh, and just for those people out here who are completely weird just like me and like learning about mythology and different sort of like religion or whatever, thrones are basically like the symbol of like, I'm pretty sure it's God's justice and his authority. But they're basically just a way to show off God's power. However, what I ended up creating was a seraphim, which is one of the highest beings in like angelology. I'm pretty sure like the ranking of celestial beings is quite high up there. So I accidentally did create a biblically accurate creature, and I'm not gonna lie, he looks very weird. Not sure how I feel about him. But the main issue I have with most of these is, they all are depicted with eyes. Seraphim with an eye in the middle, and, you know, throne with eyes all around it. And considering I'm trying to play this challenge with absolutely no eyes whatsoever, it's probably not a very good thing to base it off of. Oh, also, this game is very prone to crashing, and it just immediately crashed the moment I died. Run in fear. Hell yeah. Get the fuck away from me. I'm taking your bones. Is that it? He's not scared of me. Why wasn't he scared? Why wasn't he scared? Oh, the game's crashed. The game's crashed. My next attempt at designing some fucking godforsaken creature from the Spore character creator involved me making some malnourished mushroom creature, which has scoliosis. Alright, so we're giving our creature scoliosis, but you know what, he looks kinda alright. I'm kinda liking this. And some sort of flaking eczema that decides to protrude itself from the bottom of its shins. The shins that don't actually exist because it doesn't have the capability for having knees. But I'm calling the sides of it its shins anyways. I tried very hard to make this look like any sort of fucking functioning creature that could actually feasibly exist in the world of Spore instead of just some sort of fucking amorphous mass that has no reason to live. Like the main character at the end of I Have No Mouth But I Must Scream. That looks absolutely terrible. That just makes it look like he's got two very large testicles. Like that bird picture that goes around Instagram, if you know what I mean. Nah, I'm just losing my mind. Alright, so we've given our guys scoliosis and testicles. Spiked testicles, in fact. But this is what I've created. It looks absolutely fucking terrible, and it looks, and in game even, sorry, it plays even worse in how it looks, because I put every single piece of building blocks on it on the wrong way. So actually its mouth is on the opposite side of its body, is on the back of its fucking skull. And every other part of it that looks like it would be its front is actually its back, and it just does not work. It's fucking terrible, and it dies within 5 seconds. It migrates over to a new location, and it dies. In my next attempt at trying to create some sort of evolutionary masterpiece of a creature, I decide to spec every single last point of DNA that I have into the mouth. You see, I managed to unearth a level 4 skeleton. I'm assuming they're known as level 4 skeletons. A giant fuck-off skeleton. I managed to dig it up with my face, I guess. I'm assuming this monstrosity of God's creation used his face to dig up a carcass, considering the fact that we don't have any arms or legs. I digress. What this gave me was a 250 DNA point-like mouth thing, which has completely zero singing ability, but it does have the ability to fucking rip people's faces off, as it has a level 5 bite. In my stupid little mind, I thought that this would be a free win to anything that came my way, so I decided to utilize this on my next attempt at creating a creature. And as a result, I got absolutely battered as everything fucking beat me up. Therefore, when I got sent straight back to the lobby and had another attempt to create a new creature, I accidentally gave it the fucking, I don't know, pinhead syndrome, as the bastard had a massive bloody head. I don't even know what I've created here. Right, well that wasn't really what I was expecting to do, but you know what, it looks relatively funny, so I might just keep it. But you know what, it kind of looks cool. I don't really know what it is about this thing, but I quite liked it. Stream Chat quite liked it. It looked like a bloody cross between a hammer and a mushroom. And with the addition of the spitters on the side of its mushroom cheek thing, it looked relatively cute, actually. I think it looked cute, and I really liked him. Anyways, he got battered as well, so unfortunately, we're not going to be playing as him, as it's back to the drawing board to try and create a new critter. I have no fucking idea why my mic keeps spiking. I'm gonna end it. I have re-recorded this fucking, take, 17 times. I give up. Oh, also the game crashed again. My next attempt at playing Spore after the latest crash, I just decide, you know what, bugger it, who gives a shit what the bloody creature looked like. I tried to make a mushroom, I tried to make an angel, I tried to make anything, really. But each of these creatures lacked something. And that was the funny. There was nothing about them that was inspiring funny. So I just decided, why don't I just make the fucking stupidest thing I can even think of? So I did exactly that. I did give these critters arms, but it's got no graspers. So, does it really count? I don't think it does, and if you think it does, shut up. So I've now got this 5 floating, I don't even know what the fuck this thing is, it's disgusting. But it's got 5 shields on it, or at least it looks like shields. It kind of just looks like some amorphous mass, if I'm totally real with you, with protrusions coming out of each side. It looks like a failed science experiment, it looks like it shouldn't really exist. So obviously it goes without saying that I adore what I've created, this amalgamation and failure of God's creation. And I would like to see where he goes from here. So I continue playing, you know, getting through the teacher stage, not being able to see anything, moving at the rate of fucking nothing. And eventually I just start winning, I guess. Well, not winning, that's probably not the best way to describe it. I was getting the shit kicked out of me, but not as quickly as I was getting the shit kicked out of me before, when I had no... Well, actually, I'm not really sure why I wasn't getting the shit kicked out of me at this point in time. I might have just been playing better. I think I just got used to not being able to see anything. Because it had this same amount of, you know, spitting ability, attacking ability, movement speed, lack of jumping as all my other creatures. It's just... I don't know, for some reason this time I just seem to do a little bit better. Perhaps this is what this game is trying to show me, that I shouldn't base my creatures off of something I want to make it. I don't want to make a mushroom, I don't want to give my creatures scoliosis, I don't want them to be biblically accurate. I just want them to look stupid and have fun in the game, when they look like a fucking freak. And perhaps by doing this challenge, I've realised the main point of Spore, and it's just to have fun and fuck about. Or I could just make all of my creatures look like giant penises. And the game crash. I then proceeded to play a little bit more of this game as the creature I had currently created, before getting incredibly bored of it and decided to completely redo him once again for the final time this time. This time, I don't even know what this body part could even be called, but it looks like some sort of wang or something. So I put a bunch of wangs on his bottom part to make him essentially walk on his own. Sorry, I think the realisation of what I'm actually trying to explain has just dawned on me, and I'm not really sure how to react to it. But the point is, I didn't want to skirt over the rules too much by giving my creature arms, even though they had no graspers. So now I have this creature here, where there's nothing on it that the game considers to be legs, arms, or eyes. And this is what we're going to stick with for the rest of the run, with only very minor alterations and altercations to this. From this point onwards as well, I decide that I'm going to try and reach the adaptable level So that means I'll just basically be a bit more friendly towards animals, but also I'm not super friendly, you know, I still kill everything every now and then. But what I didn't realise is how bloody difficult that task would be. If you are a carnivore, you get no option to become like a nice little friendly person. Your sting skill does not go up to level 5, it goes up to level 3 at most. If you have no legs, which I don't, you don't get the ability to dance. If you got no hands like I don't, you don't got the ability to pose like I want either. You only have the ability to just sort of sing and charm people. So this is nearly maxed out already. The only option you can get is to really start recruiting other creatures that have higher like ability points in these sort of like charming, singing, whatever abilities to your team, so that you can use their highest skill in your like pack, if you know what I mean. So that's a very poor way of explaining it. But the other issue as well with trying to recruit friends is that if you're trying to recruit a creature, before they begin, they start singing to try and call over as many people as they can to their own little herd, so they can all try and, like, you know, out-charm you, and you can maybe out-charm all of them. That's sort of how it works. But obviously, if they all have, like, a higher skill level of charmingness, and they're already ganging up on you, how on earth are you going to be able to out-charm them in a group? Well, you don't, you physically can't. This is as good as you can possibly get, even if you get everybody on your herd to join up with you. So you have to sort of like use the sprint ability to get enough speed to push them out of the way. Like you move them so far away from the owner herd that they have no option but to just try and charm you themselves, which gives you the edge over like trying to charm them all as a herd. I realised pretty quickly that the alphas are obviously going to be a bit of a troublemaker because they herd the babies, but the babies are always going to be near the alphas. So both of those, you don't really have a choice. You have to be with either one or, well, you have to be with both of them regardless of who you try to familiarise yourself with. But this game also controls like shit and glitches out every 5 minutes. This thing crashed so many fucking times. Separate him from his mates, you can't call him over that way. Cool. No. Yes, 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 yes! Easy! Easy! I'm not even getting any points from this but anymore, but who gives a shit? Oh, it was worth it, I don't give a shit. What? What? The only reason I did this was so I become friends with them. But now we're not friends with them? Oh my god, they glitched out. Oh my days, they glitched out. For fuck's sake. Oh my days, this game actually pisses me off sometimes. Continuing on from this challenge playthrough of Spore with no arms, no legs, and no eyes, the game honestly just continues to shit itself. I'm not gonna lie to you. It crashes so many fucking times from me dying, because I can't see anything. When an enemy comes in to try and kill me, I can't bloody see him. So I just try my best to keep playing. I try to avoid death. I give myself the health booster, but it only adds like 4 points of health to my character. It barely does a bloody thing. If I'm going up in a fight to the death, having 1 or 2 extra bits of health isn't gonna save me from getting my anus ruptured by a man with a spike on its face, is it? Now, with that said, I do try my best to be as friendly to all creatures as I could possibly be, but my goodness gracious, this round of Spore, I've never had so many glitches occurring in all my life. No, no! Fuck off! Boys, help, 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 help! What are you looking at? What? What? Even the game doesn't know what's going on. Okay. Oh, please no. Oh, please no. 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 Yeah, I dare you. Try and figure out how to get in there. Bro, this game is actually so jank. Yeah, I'm confused too, mate. Alongside that, I've never seen so many epic creatures in all my life. I've never even attempted to try and take on an epic creature in this game, but one of them just keeps bloody destroying me and my chances of trying to become friends with a rogue enemy to get that lovely 100 DNA boost. But I just get so mad and like actually genuinely pissed off that I just decide to attempt to beat up an epic creature, and obviously it doesn't work because, well, look at the fucking size of it. But I at least give it a bloody good go, and from there I try to find that DNA boost to become friends with that lovely little rogue creature because I just really wanted to be friends with him. Beyond that, nothing much more of note really occurs. I mean, obviously there were some lovely funny streamy moments which you need to be in the streams to watch to be able to find out with, you know, highlight clips. All of that, come join in, we got lovely friends there. But yeah, by the time we get to this tribal stage and we have to, you know, choose our new fucking look to go into the game with, I don't really have much to give, if I'm totally honest. I have a bunch of leftover DNA, I was quite content with how my character looks, and I thought, you know, it was pretty chill. I really liked what I created, it was pretty fun. And thus begins the tribal stage. The tribal stage is completely fucking different from the creature stage, as now the game's transformed into a real-time strategy game, complete with multiple units and all that other glorious shit which nobody fucking likes. Except me. I like it. Sorry, I sneezed, but I'm keeping that in, that's really funny. But anyways, yes, the game continues on as to be expected, with me utilising all of my food to create as many babies as possible, and then hunting to get more food. Of course, as we were a carnivore in a cell stage and a creature stage, that naturally means we're a carnivore still in a tribal stage, meaning that we cannot eat any fruits or vegetables, leading to us only hunting animals and collecting fish and eggs for food. Luckily, my glorious creature friends had stayed with us and are now our pets. We now have essentially enslaved these creatures to feed off of their eggs for the rest of their miserable lives. But what's even more interesting about the natural fauna and wildlife within this world is I'm here. Oh, it's just actually us. It's just our old version of... Jesus, fuck, that's a bit dystopian, isn't it? To have your old version of yourself just present. Oh, there's two different versions of them, though. I don't think the game's supposed to be doing that. Like, literally, a previous variant of our creature is just chilling in the wilderness. This is like me just running into a Homo erectus or something like that in the woods. Why is this here? This has never happened to me before, ever, within any of my previous playthroughs of this game. While you can run into your own creature, which you've made in the previous save file, it can come up again, which is actually what happens later on, as every single tribe that arises is just the same fucking creature I created on my last playthrough of this game. Normally there would be a little bit of variety, but I guess this time it's just the exact same fucking thing. But I digress, these things are saved separately within my Spore folder. So how the bloody hell has this one here, that's just a little babby, like, version of me, which I created about 5 hours prior, how is that guy still here? What's he doing? How did he get here? So badly want to say from there we started going through the motions of tribal stage, but unfortunately that wasn't exactly the case. Pretty much immediately, the new people spawn in, and I wasn't prepared for it, and therefore my entire tribal heart got its shit kicked in, leading to me having to do a impromptu call each and every one of my units over and bash the ever-loving shit out of the invaders' skulls in. So, you know, quite a normal move for normal people, as I'm sure you can see. I didn't even know I could get my units to repair the tribal heart until this, but evidently yes they can, because I've never really done so bad in tribal stage in all my life. The thing is about tribal stage, which I never really paid much attention to, is your creature really does dictate how well he does in this, like, stage. You know, your creature from creature stage. Because I didn't realise just how bloody slow he is. He can't move. They just take years, eons to do something. I went to have a shower at one point and they still didn't bloody make it to their destination. Though I argue that might be because of the AI has completely fucked up and doesn't know what it's doing, but I digress. You know what? I feel I'm like probably the only person in like the entire world who is a lot more like, how do you put it? Reserved and like socially awkward online than I am in real life.
Wait, really?
Because you know how I am in real life.
Yeah.
Online, I'm actually like, I'm very meek. I'm like, don't talk to me. Really. If someone ever sends me like a message online, I'm like, who the fuck is this? Go away from me.
It's so fair.
Oh, I failed it. How have I failed it? I don't think I've ever failed this in my life. I don't know. I actually genuinely don't know. I've never failed this in my life. Oh, there's a spaceship going by. Why do they not like me? I've never failed these in my life. What the fuck? Yeah, wait, is it because I've got these guys fishing? But yes, from this point forward, we really do just go through the regular tribal stage motions of trying to eliminate every other tribe from existence. And, you know, we get into a few hiccups here and there, but at the end of the day, the main thing the history books are only going to remember this for is the fact that we beat it. And fuck, there you go, my king. But there is one other piece of information this run has taught me about the tribal stage, and it is that, my gosh, dripping your boy out is incredibly important to the success of your abilities. Why is he not coming back? Fucking come here, prick. This boy's broken. Because without the +5 social masks which are available to me at this point in time, I don't believe I would have been able to have gotten past it, if I'm totally real. It genuinely helped out. It was not the lack of those fishermen that, you know, stopped me from getting a higher friendship level with that village. It was the fact that my grip was just not good enough. It's like you're playing Team Fortress 2, people are making fun of you if you haven't got good hats on. With this glorious piece of information over and done with, we can now advance onto the civilization stage, where everything goes tits up. Now, before everything goes to shit, let's talk about how I did everything that I should have to have made sure the spirit of this challenge carried over into the civilization stage. For you see, I removed every single fucking leg, vehicular movement option, wheels, or whatever you could think of to get these cars to move from the preset cars templates that were available to us. These impromptu alterations had the effect of making my shit slow as fuck, which is a very scientific way of saying it. I also ensured that at the end of creature stage my nest would be as close to the water as possible to make me be a seafaring nation in the civilization stage. In terms of setup, I have done everything to the best of my ability, and I do not believe I could have preparated for this any further than I currently have. Preparated isn't a word, I'm going to say prepared, but you know what, I kind of like the way I pronounced it, so I'm keeping it in. Now, this is where I fuck everything up. I was under the impression that cities, or rather alternative cities, do not start showing up until you claim your first spice skeezer. That isn't exactly true. It's after you set your vehicles off at a certain distance away from your main city. As I preemptively already figured out, my vehicles will be very slow, so I set them all off to the furthest reaches of the corners of the globe, or rather, corners of the continent, that they could get to. My thought process for doing this would be that I could get the far away spice geezers, stopping all of the cities that are currently around it from getting those spice geezers. This would leave them with no claimed spice geyser, as I would have claimed any other unclaimed ones, near my original home capital base. Now, with all said and done, this didn't work at all because they all spawned in immediately, and then I barely got any spice geezers, and I started to fucking cry and piss and shit all over the floor. So I didn't do very well. Honestly, for most of the civilization stage ended with me trying to create some sort of trade route with another neighbouring civilization. Unfortunately, on my home continent, nobody was really that friendly towards me, and therefore they actually didn't want to be my mate, despite how much fucking gifts I ended up giving the bastards. So it ended up with me having to go across the sea and try to make friends there, which is why I ended up doing my ship units for the majority of the playthrough time. The main issue is speed, as I'm sure you can guess. Whilst my characters can go off and create as many trade routes as they so well please, they can't do it at a brisk pace, and as a result, the other civilizations end up doing their own bloody shit before I even get a chance to even say hello to them, and they start conquering the people I'm trying to become friends with. This becomes a major issue, however, as if they're trying to conquer everybody and they don't like me to begin with, then when they conquer that area, the new part of that civilization will still not like me. Meaning, unless I start gifting that civilization large quantities of cash and dosh, they won't be my friends. The other issue I found out was that if you, for some stupid reason, decide to have more than 2 cities, every single other civilization will they'll stop at nothing, really, to hunt you down and make you rue the day you were fucking born. And I'll fucking lose. Everything goes tits up the moment the Yellow Nation, who absolutely despises me, might I add, gets the ability to fly planes. As I just can't do a thing to stop them. They take so many spice geysers from me, so I don't have enough money, even after I max out my cities, to be pumping out as much of that fucking spice as you could even imagine. I end up having to defend against massive onslaught of giant planes, which come over, zap my shit, destroy my turret. By the time I have enough money to buy a new turret, I'll replace it. I've got 0 cash. They'll zap my shit down. 2,000 Spore bucks has been put into my account. I buy a new turret. They blow it up to smithereens. I'll get my bank account hacked. Another turret has been placed down. You see what I mean? It's a self-perpetuating cycle. And I end up losing all of my cities except for this. However, what's very interesting is when they were about to deal the final strike to the final city I had left, they just stopped. And yeah, I can't beat their cities. Go! Fucking go! Where's he going? Please. Oh, I'm actually in fucking hell. Why are they doing nothing? Oh my god, this is actual fucking hell. Am I fucked? Am I just like, how do I blow up the city? At all, even after I change to religious, I can't actually beat their cities. Because they'll blow my shit up the moment I try. And I don't actually think I can come out of this. I genuinely believe I'm soft locked. I can't do a thing. So I suppose to answer our beautiful question of can we beat Spore with no arms and no legs, I guess you can get to the point of civilization, but if your car's got no arms, then I guess you're fucked up somewhere along the way. This has been a terrible experiment. I had a lovely time doing it. I wasted about a month of my life trying to do this and make these videos, and I would do it again. I had a lovely time making them all. Do you guys know who Kingly Valence is? He's a lovely YouTuber, I think he's great. Go fucking subscribe to him if you want better videos, because mine are shit and his are actually quite good.